I'm here today to teach you how to do this fun card. So I'm going to turn the camera down and I'm going to teach you how to use the spiral pop-up die. All right, our camera's set up, we're ready to go. And what we're going to do is learn how to make this spiral pop-up die. Now, when you make a pop-up card, you kind of want to think about what you're putting on the inside and how that sentiment is going to set up for you. We do have a whole series of round circle stamps that fit on the inside, and our bundle today does include the Merry Christmas circle stamp. So the first thing you want to do is take your inside, whatever you have planned for the inside, and cut that first. So that piece of cardstock is going to measure 5.25 by 4 if you're making a standard A2 card. So you're going to cut that piece and you're going to stamp that piece. Now, for the purposes of our project today, I have already cut that card out and stamped that card. And then I want to show you how to set it up, because we need a special slit in that card. So what you're going to do is open up your die package. And when you open up the die, you're going to find two dies. You're going to find this spiral and you're going to find this strange looking die. And what you'll find is the top of this die, get it so you can see it, the top of this die doesn't have a die cut line. It's just a placement. It's only cutting that slash. So it's designed so you can set that on top of your card and it's going to cut that slash exactly where you need it. So you stamp your card, you tape this in place, and I would use a piece of purple tape, run it through your die cut machine, and then you're going to have that slit exactly where you need it. So that's the first part you want to do, is figure out your inside and cut that slit. Now, we need to cut that spiral piece, and that spiral piece is cut from a special kind of acetate. I want to get this black out here so you can, hopefully it'll help you see it better. We sell medium weight acetate, and you can find this on our website. If you use like overhead projector film, it's too thin and it tears. So this is the perfect weight that you can die cut, and you're going to put that up on your die cut machine and die cut that, and that'll make that nice little spiral for you. Now, I will tell you, when you run this through your machine, it'll make all kinds of cracky poppy noises, especially if you have a new cutting plate on it, but it will cut and you'll have your spiral cut for you. So we're gonna take that spiral, and then we wanna kind of remove all those little we have plastic fibers running around, and we're going to take our card that we cut, and we're going to take that ring that we have, this spiral, and we want to look at it so that the first cut line is running to the left. So the cut line is running to the left, and I've got the black on here, hopefully, so you can see the contrast. What we're going to do is pull that spiral up and put that whole circle in the back of the card and slide that right down over the slit. That's going to put the main circle on the back, kind of like a paper clip, and your spiral right on top. And you can see, if you use our circle stamps, that spiral sits right on top of that circle stamp. Now, once you have it where you want it, you want to take and add some super tacky tape all around the edges. And I really like to get tape down right over that slit right there, and make sure that we have that secure. Then we'll put tape all around the outside edge. We do want to put a little piece of tape right there across the bottom. That is the inside, and we have that prepped and ready to go. Now, our card has this wonderful accent that we've put on the top of it and on the top of our front, on the front here. And we're using a piece of navy cardstock for that. And I have cut that cardstock 5.25 by 4, and I have cut 2 2 of those, and we're going to use the Star Swish stencil to add a swish across the top of one and across the top of another. So we're just going to add some stars to that. So we're going to set this up so we can do some stencil work. Now, when I do stencil work, I like to add a piece of super tacky tape right to my grid pad and line up my paper on my grid. So I'm going to line up both of these, and that's just going to keep my paper from sliding all over the place and help me know that everything is secure and not moving. My frustration with the whole stencil thing is having things move. So I'm going to use the Star Swish stencil, and you can see I've already taped this off. I just want the main body of stars on this, so I've already taped it off for our use today. And I do want to make sure that I don't get ink down there on that other piece of paper. So I'm going to tape that off. This is what the stencil tape is great for. Now we're going to use our J brush to apply ink today, and I am using the Brilliance Galaxy Gold ink pad. This is pigment metallic ink, beautiful stuff, and I'm going to use my J brush. Now the J brush, we sell the J brush unbanded, which means it does not have this color card on it, and we recommend that you use it for dye-based ink. It has this head that moves up and down, so I can have concentrated color, or I can just basic stencil use, I keep it back. But if I want to use it for pigment ink, I can. And this is partially why we have the bristle that we have in this. This is not a makeup brush. This is a special bristle for ink, paint, and media. So I keep a J brush dedicated to my gold pigment ink, and I have one for my silver, and I have one for white, and I have just a piece of paper that I put my super tacky tape on to mark it, and you can see I have written on it here, gold. So this brush stays with my gold pad. I don't ever mix the colors or blend the colors, because if I do, I'm gonna have a muddy mess. The pigments don't blend. So I'm gonna take my ink and I'm just gonna put it on my stencil. And what I'd like to do is pull all those fibers in the brush together so I can get some concentrated color. And we're just going to go and ink those stars. Now we know this is the top one. The top one here is going to be the front, and this area down here is really not gonna show. So we just need to hit the top. Now this is metallic, it is pigment ink, but if you're using a non-porous cardstock, what you'll find is that will settle right into the cardstock and it will dry without any problem. And it dries relatively quickly. Now let's do the other one. We need one for the inside. Using my grid to line it up a little bit. I'm gonna have it coming more straight across rather than at such an angle. Pull this tape off. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We can actually take our brush, pick up some ink, and work that right through the stencil. And we have the inside of our card. Now, when I tape that down, I have undo on it, or I have tape there. So I'm gonna take my undo and use my undo to pull that tape off, and it'll release from the deck. Now we have our A2 card. We're gonna fold the A2 card in half, and we are going to add that blue dark sky to the inside of our card. There we go. So we are ready to adhere our piece that we made earlier right to the inside. There we go. Now we're ready to add a glue dot, and we're gonna take a mini glue dot. We're gonna take the paper liner off and throw that away and add our glue dot right to the center of the card. Pull off the clear liner. We're gonna shut the card, and when we open the card, it's gonna pop open that spiral for us. And now we are ready to decorate our spiral with our Santa sleigh and our reindeer, and those can be added with our glue dots. So when I use the glue dots, I like to, on these projects where we have small things, take my scissors and just cut them in half right in the sheet. And that's going to give me those little half pieces of glue dot that are perfect. And we're going to adhere those to the back of our pieces. So we have a whole series of mini dies. They're all designed to do this very trick with. They're small, so they're meant to be inside the pop-up. So if you want to make a birthday card, we have a graduation set, lots of options. You can use the little dies and add the little dots to them and stick them on your card. So you can decide how many you want to put on your card. So we're going to just stick those on, put our sleigh on there, and then just work our way around, adding those little reindeer right in our card. And you can put them as tight as you want, or as, you know, you can spread them out however you want to do it, all the way around. You just want to make sure that that dot is on, when you're putting that glue dot on, that it's on the plastic. It's not hanging off of the plastic, because when you shut the card, it will end up adhering to the cardstock, and you don't want that. So there's our inside, our nice pop-up that we can open and pop. Open, pop, fun. Let's finish the inside, or the outside. Our card front is decorated with our die called Village Edges, and it is an edge die, which means when you die cut with it, it's just gonna cut a top edge. So when you cut the village or the train, there's no cut line on the bottom. There's only a cut line along the top. This allows you to stack the pieces the way you want to. So if you want to put the village in the back, you can make it taller, you can mess around with it. And you have the ability to use this in many different ways. So I have die cut for this project the train in the foil paper, and we do have the gold foil paper on our website. And you want to cut that on a piece of paper that is 1 by 5.25 inches. So if this is my piece of paper, 1 by 5.25 inches, I have my super tacky tape on the back. So tape comes in a 3-inch roll or a 6-inch roll. You're gonna unwind it, put your paper in there and trim it out. And then when you die cut, you'll have a piece that is sticky on the back. And that's what I have right here. So if I were going to die cut this, I of course would move this label off, but I would run this right along the bottom edge, tape it in place with some stencil tape so that it doesn't move on you, because you do need to have it straight. So a little bit of tape on it and die cut it, and you're gonna have the train that fits right along that bottom edge. So our village, the next piece we cut on craft, and that is 2 by 5.25 inches long. So make your rectangle, put your tape on it, and die cut it. Now the village with the tree, it goes in the very back, and I used a piece of cardstock in the beginning that's 2.75 by 5.25. So they're all 5.25 inches wide. Now what we're gonna do is flip this over, and we will remove the tape liner and add that to our card and stick that on. And we want to put that right on the bottom edge of our card. And then we'll add our village that we cut in craft. And our finishing touch on the front of this card is that train set. Put our train on. Now what you're gonna find when you die cut the train there are little bitty stars inside the wheel of the train. So we're gonna stick this on. And then you'll see I have little bitty stars that came off on here, and I still have a few stars stuck in the train wheels. And we need to have those stars because we are going to add them to our project. So what we want to do is you can take your pick tool and you can get in there and pull off those little stars, and we are going to adhere them right up into the top of our card. So here's another star over here. We're going to pull that out, stick it on up here, and these little stars just add a nice little special touch to the card. And so I have them over here on this sheet. We're going to pick them off and stick them on, and you can decide how many you want to add. So stick them on there. We want to take our card and add a few of those stars to the inside of our card. It's just a really nice special touch. And I always put one right on top of the glue dot so that the glue dot does not show. So you can do as many of these as you want, add more, do less, however you want to do it. But these little stars really add a nice touch to the card. And you've already die cut them, so why not, right? Stick them on there. Nice little touch. We have our card front, and we are ready to adhere that to our card. Okay, we're ready to stick that down, so we're gonna turn that over, stick that on our card front. We have our beautiful train front, and when you open it up, you have that awesome Christmas surprise. There we go. What a fun card for Christmas to give.